Picture this: a crowded office, phones ringing non-stop, young men in cheap suits shouting into headsets. They look like Wall Street traders, but they're not. They're salesmen, and every word they speak is designed to take money out of someone else's pocket. This was Stratton Oakmont, the empire of Jordan Belfort, the so-called Wolf of Wall Street. And the scam he ran wasn't complicated. It was simple, brutally simple. You might think this is just a wild story from the 1990s, a cautionary tale wrapped in Hollywood glamour. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The scam at the heart of Belfort's empire, the pump and dump, never disappeared. It mutated. Today, it hides in crypto hype, meme stocks, influencer-driven hot tips. If you understand how Belfort pulled it off, you'll recognize the same fingerprints in markets right now. Let's start small. Imagine you own a lemonade stand. Your lemonade is average, but you tell everyone it's the best in town. You hire kids to shout about it. Suddenly, the price jumps from 50 cents to $5. While everyone's buying, you quietly sell your own stash. When the hype fades, the lemonade goes back to 50 cents. Everyone else loses. You walk away rich. That's the pump and dump. Belfort industrialized it. Stratton Oakmont opened in 1989. On paper, a brokerage firm. In reality, a boiler room. Here's the machinery. Belfort's firm bought huge amounts of tiny, obscure stocks. His brokers cold-called thousands of strangers, hyping those stocks with scripted pitches. Demand surged, prices skyrocketed. Belfort and insiders sold at the peak. The stock collapsed. Investors were left with worthless paper. It was theater. Brokers were trained to overwhelm hesitation, to make greed feel like opportunity. Most victims weren't wealthy speculators. They were ordinary people, teachers, retirees, small business owners, people who believed they were getting in early on the next Microsoft. And the brokers? Many were barely out of high school. They were promised fast cars, big houses, endless parties. They believed they were climbing the ladder of success. In reality, they were pawns in Belfort's game. Let's put numbers on it. Stratton Oakmont pushed penny stocks that could jump 400%, 500%, even 1,000%. Imagine a $1 stock suddenly worth $10. Belfort's team cashed out millions. But when the dust settled, the stock crashed back to $1 or less. If 10,000 investors each lost $5,000, that's $50 million gone. Gone from retirement accounts, savings, college funds, gone into Belfort's pockets. Inside Stratton Oakmont, the culture was absurd. Drug-fueled parties, champagne showers, employees tossing dwarfs for entertainment. The excess wasn't just indulgence, it was distraction. Chaos kept people from asking hard questions. If brokers were too busy chasing thrills, they weren't asking whether the business model made sense. By the mid-1990s, Stratton Oakmont had raised over $1 billion in investor money. $1 billion. That's not lemonade stands anymore. That's pensions, mortgages, life savings. And the firm's reputation spread. It became infamous. Regulators started circling. Journalists whispered about fraud, but the machine kept running. Eventually, the SEC and FBI closed in. In 1999, Belfort was indicted for securities fraud and money laundering. He served 22 months in prison. Stratton Oakmont was shut down. But here's the twist. Even after prison, Belfort reinvented himself as a motivational speaker. The man who perfected financial illusion now sells the illusion of self-improvement. Why does this matter today? Because the pump and dump didn't die. It simply changed clothes. Instead of cold calls, we have Discord servers. Instead of penny stocks, we have meme coins. Instead of brokers shouting into phones, we have influencers shouting into live streams. The mechanism is the same. Create hype, Inflate value, exit before the crash. And the victims are the same. Ordinary people chasing opportunity, unaware they're stepping into a rigged game. Think about Dogecoin. Think about GameStop. Think about obscure crypto tokens that rise 1,000% overnight. Not all are scams, but the pattern, the hype, the spike, the crash looks eerily familiar. The irony, technology made it faster. Belfort needed phones and scripts. Today, a single viral tweet can move billions. At its core, Belfort's empire wasn't about stocks, it was about psychology, greed, fear of missing out, the thrill of being in the know. Investors wanted to believe, brokers wanted to believe. Belfort gave them a stage where belief felt like certainty. That's why pump and dumps work, not because the math is hidden, but because the story is irresistible. Here's the absurd part. Belfort's firm was so notorious that Hollywood later turned it into entertainment. The Wolf of Wall Street became a blockbuster. Millions watched the excess, the scams, the chaos, and laughed. But behind every laugh was a victim who lost their savings. The absurdity is that the scam became a spectacle, while the pain became invisible. So what's the risk today? It's not just losing money, it's losing trust. Every scam erodes confidence in markets, and when trust collapses, the system itself shakes. That's the hidden cost of Belfort's empire. Not just billions stolen, but faith destroyed. So here's the unresolved question. If scams like Belfort's can survive decades, shifting from Wall Street to TikTok, from penny stocks to digital coins, what does that say about us? Are we addicted to the dream of easy money, or are we simply too distracted to notice when the pen being sold isn't really the product at all? The Wolf of Wall Street wasn't just a man, it was a mirror, and the reflection is still staring back.